We talked about Ruby Bridges, a special girl in history. This was a long time ago. We talked about when the laws were not good with schools. They kept children separated. Well, finally, the wise judges said, of course we have to change these laws. They are not right. And they said we can go to school all together. Well, when Ruby tried to do that, some people were very mean to her. Let's see what happens. Our Ruby taught us a lot. She became someone who helped change our country. She was part of history, just like generals and presidents are part of history. They're leaders, and so was Ruby. She led us away from hate, and she led us nearer to knowing each other, the white folks and the black folks. Ruby's mother said that about her daughter. There's Ruby when she was about 6 or 5 or 6. They were moving. Can you see the suitcases? So they had to move. Let's see why. Ruby Bridges was born in a small cabin near Tylertown, Mississippi. We were very poor, very, very poor, Ruby said. My daddy worked picking crops. We just barely got by. There were times when we didn't have much to eat. The people who owned the land were bringing in machines to pick the crops, so my daddy lost his job, and that's when we had to move. I remember us leaving. I was 4, I think. Okay. In 1957, the family moved to New Orleans. Ruby's father became a janitor. That's someone who takes care of a school. Her mother took care of the children during the day. After they were tucked in bed, Ruby's mother went to work scrubbing floors in a bank. So she took care of the family all day, and then at night she went to work. Every Sunday, the family went to church. We wanted our children to be near God's Spirit, Ruby's mother said. We wanted them to start feeling close to Him from the very start. And there they are, probably getting up in the morning to go to church some Sunday morning. At that time, black and white children went to separate schools in New Orleans. The black children were not able to receive the same education as white children. It wasn't fair, and it was against the nation's laws. Remember that before the laws were bad, finally the laws did change, okay? But they still did not want Ruby to go to that school with all the other children. They wanted her to stay in a school where all black children went. But that wasn't right. And this judge is saying, of course Ruby can go to the school. Not only Ruby, but some other students too. He said they can go to these other schools. And I think this one's Ruby right here. This is Ruby, and these are her parents. And the judge is telling them, yes, you may go to those other schools. And here's the words. In 1960, a judge ordered 4 black girls to go to 2 white elementary schools. 3 of the girls were sent to McDonough 19, that's the name of a school. But 6-year-old Ruby Bridges was sent to 1st grade in the William France Elementary School. So she had to go to a school without her friends there. Ruby's parents were proud of that their daughter had been chosen to take part in an important event in American history. They went to church. We sat there and prayed to God, Ruby's mother said, that we'd all be strong and we'd have courage and we'd get through any trouble. And Ruby would be a good girl and she'd hold her head up high and be a credit to her own people and a credit to all the American people. We prayed long and we prayed hard. You see, boys and girls, they knew that there might be trouble because some people did not want black children to go to school with white children. They were being not smart at all, were they? No, they were not. And there they are in church praying for Ruby. Here's Ruby's first day at her new school. On Ruby's first day, a large crowd of angry white people gathered outside the France Elementary School. The people carried signs that said they didn't want black children in a white school. People called Ruby names. Some wanted to hurt her. The city and state police did not help Ruby. So the President of the United States ordered federal marshals to walk with Ruby into the school building. The marshals carried guns. You see, those special officers, the marshals, were there to protect Ruby. They were going to protect her from these people. Now, remember, this was so long ago, 60 years ago, and thankfully, this would not happen today. Look at they are being so mean to a little sweet girl. All right, if you want to know how this story continues, watch the next part of it. And I will tell you, this does have a happy ending.